right, here's the review for the quiz. The first part is it a function? Now, there are going to be graphs, and you're going to tell me if they're a function or not. Now, what you're looking for is if an x repeats. So you're looking for, at any time, is there a dot on top of another dot? Okay? Now, an easy way you can do this is by just scanning and just seeing if that ever intersects with it twice, which it doesn't. This one doesn't either. It's called the vertical line test. Is this blue calculator at any time hitting the graph line twice? Now here, right there, it's hitting it there and there. This is not a function. That's not allowed to happen. That means the x is repeating. Okay, that doesn't happen here, and that doesn't happen here. They're almost on top of each other, but they're not, because there's a slope to it. So from 1 to 3, you're just telling me yes, it's a function, or no, it's not a function. Okay, if there's ever any part of the graph on top of itself, okay, the graph line, then you know it's not a function. For question 4, you're telling me, is it linear or non-linear? And I gave you chart. So I have one that's linear and one that's non-linear. We'll see which one's which. So you're checking this right here. How did the 3 turn into 6? You added 3, right? Then how did the 6 turn into a 9? You added 3. How did the 9 turn into a 12? You added 3. Now down here, you added 3, and then you added 5, and then you added 7. So if I put these numbers on top of each other, do they make the same graph, the same fraction over and over again? No. This is a 1. That's 3 over 5. That's 3 over 7. That's not the same fraction. So this is non-linear. It has to keep on making the same rate. Now let's check this one. This goes up to, this goes up to, it goes up to, and it goes up to. Sorry, that's a 3. 2. This one goes down 10, down 10, down 10, and down 10. So it's going to be 2 over 10, 2 over 10, 2 over 10, 2 over 10. That's the same fraction, so this one is linear. Okay, so you're checking if the rate of increase is consistent. Now, 5, 6, and 7 are graph lines. Now, if they're a straight line, it's linear. That's what linear means. If it's not a straight line, then it's nonlinear. So if it looks like this is nonlinear. This is my attempt at making a straight line with my hand. That's linear. And if it's a straight line and then it goes somewhere else in a straight line, that's still nonlinear. It has to stay a consistent straight line all the way through. Okay, so that's question 5, 6, and 7. Question 8 is the rate of change. Okay, so here you're looking for the slope. So you pick any 2 points. It doesn't matter which one. You just pick 2 points and you put it in this formula here. Remember, y goes on the top, x goes on the bottom of this equation. So this would be 8, 0, and then 9, 1. So the slope here is -1. So 8 minus 9 is -1. 0 minus 1 is also -1. So the slope is 1. And I'm done. That's the rate of change, also called the slope. Number 9, 10, and 11, I'm going to be showing you a graph, and you're going to be writing this equation for that graph. Now, I have a graph right here as an example, because something drawn by hand is not going to give us the same feeling. So let's do this one first, okay? So the y-intercept is 3, right? And we're writing the equation y equals mx plus b, which is shown right here, sorry. Y equals mx plus b. So if the y-intercept is 3, we know that this is positive 3. The x comes down, the y comes down. Now the only other thing we need is the slope, which means we have to find 2 points on this graph. Now one of the points can be the y-intercept, which is 0, 3. Now we have to find another point where we perfectly can tell them what numbers they are, right here. This is 1, 0. Now that we have these 2 points right here, we can now find the slope. So that's easy. So let's do, here's the equation, boom, boom. So let's do 3, 0, and 0, 1. So 3 minus 0 is 3. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. So 3 divided by negative 1 equals negative 3. And there's our slope. So that goes right here. And we are done. Okay, let's see if I can do another line. So let's do this one. What's the y-intercept of this one? This one is negative 5. So in the equation, it's going to read, instead of 3, it's going to read negative 5 there. Now the x goes here. We're still looking for the slope and equals y. So now we have to find 2 points on this line. So one of them could be 0, negative 5. Right? That's the y-intercept. And the other one, let's see if this ever crosses something perfectly. Right there. Negative 1, negative 3. Negative 1, negative 3. Let's go back over here. So those are our 2 points. So let's set up the equation here. Negative 5 over 0 and negative 3 over negative 1. So negative 5 minus 3, which is plus 3, is going to be negative 2. So negative 2 is on the top. 0 minus negative 1, that's actually just 0 plus 1, which will give us 1. Negative 2 divided by 1 doesn't give me a decimal point, so I'll just write the whole number. Negative 2. And we're done there. If it doesn't make a whole number, you can just leave it as a fraction. So if this was like 2 over 5, negative 2 over 5, I would just write that in there. But in this scenario, it was negative 2 over 1, which divides perfectly into a negative 2. The last question is, can you write the slope-intercept form from just getting 2 points? So this one's slightly different because we're going to find x first, and then we're going to find b. So we set up the equation to find out the slope. So let's do 11 over 2 and 6 over 1. This is going to make 5 over 1. So the slope is 5 over 1. I could write 5 over 1 there, but we know that 5 divided by 1 is 5. So now we know that the slope is 5, but we do not know what b is. So what we're going to do is choose one of these 2 points. I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to put it in the equation. So the x is going to go where the x goes, and the y is going to go where the y is. So now it's going to read like this. Y equals, well, not y. That was messed up. Y, which is 6, equals 5 times x, which is 1, plus b. So 5 times 1 is just 5. And that'll just stay plus b, and that'll stay just 6. So subtract 5 on both sides, and your answer is going to be 1 equals b. So now that we know what b is, we can write the full equation. Y equals 5x plus 1. And we are done. And that's it. That's the quiz. Good luck.